If you have not seen the Docker Fundamentals video, make sure you take a look at that first. If you have, then I'm simply in this video going to overview how to do the same thing but do it with Python, Flask, and MongoDB. So I'm simply going to go over the Docker file and Docker Compose. So if we take a look at our Docker file, you can see here that I'm simply loading up 2.7. I have some paths that I'm setting, and then I am installing the requirements. Now, in addition to that, in my Compose, I am defining two services. The first one is the Mongo database that I call data store. And then I have what I'm calling a front end, which is the web part of this, running on Python Flask. As you can see there, I define a few ports, load a volume, and then link to the data store. This part is important. I'm going to go ahead and show one more thing. If we look at app py, you'll see here that when it comes to the Mongo client, I'm specifying the host as data store, and that is because of that linking that happened in Docker Compose. So after I've done that, you can look through the code itself. It's pretty much a hello world that writes to the database. Now it's important to note, just as before, that I do not have Python, I do not have Mongo, I don't have anything else here in this machine. And if all goes well, once I run Docker Compose, I'll have an application up and running that is database backed, that has Mongo, and that has a web front end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. I'm going to do Docker, enter docker-compose up, and we should start to see the application spinning up. Now, if you haven't, I've already have some of the images cached because I've run it before. But as you can see here, this has connected to the database. There are two connections now open. The front end is up and running on port 5000. And if we go to it and I enter localhost, this is a simple to do. Port 5000 application. You can see there that we get the web form. I'm going to say here as a to-do, I'm going to enter homework 4, 04, and then enter do the homework for distro. Submit, and you can see there that we have an item. We can do another one. Let's say finish exam or write exam. For class, and you can see how all of that is being written into the database. If we take a look back here, you can see all of the information, how it's being written back to the database. But ultimately, the important thing is that we have state, we're storing to the database, we're running Mongo, everything else was wired up. The only key things to understand are really the Docker Compose naming, as I mentioned, the data store, the linking to the data store, and how that could be used if you have some sort of connection string to the database. Now, if you need additional things to be loaded on to this, you have to decide on whether you want to put it all onto the same machine or if you want to have different machines that are communicating, as in this case. I have the web server in one machine or in one container, and I have the database on a separate one. So this is a little short how-to. I'm going to go ahead and zip up this code and I'll mail it out. Okay, that's it. Bye.